Our next story is about Laos. It's a country in Southeast Asia, the only landlocked country in the region and home to less than 8 million people. Laos is currently in trouble because of debt. And you know what that means? China has ensnared another nation with its debt-trap diplomacy. Let's take a closer look at Laos. It is located in the heart of Southeast Asia mainland. It borders all the countries there: Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand and Myanmar. And to the north of Laos is China, its closest ally and its biggest problem. China has lent a lot of money to Laos, about $10.5 billion. That's about 75% of the country's total public debt, which stands at $13.8 billion, the debt, total debt. Now, the numbers may not sound like a lot, but remember, this is a small nation. This debt amounts to 108% of their GDP, and that is unsustainable. It has resulted in a financial crisis. Last year, their external debt payments reached almost $1 billion, up from about $500 million in 2022. And this is after Laos deferred some of its debt repayments. It has been deferring payments since 2020, since the Wuhan virus pandemic. But despite this, its debt keeps growing, unchecked. So how did it come to this? Well, there are a number of reasons, but there is one major one. Laos is a participant in China's Belt and Road Initiative, the global highway to bankruptcy. Laos agreed to build a high-speed railway as part of the BRI at a cost of $6 billion, and China funded a part of this. But Laos was forced to take a loan for its share. BRI projects have saddled a number of nations with unsustainable debt, and this is the latest example. Another country in China's debt trap. It joins the club made up of nations like Pakistan, Mongolia, Kenya, Zambia, and of course Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka defaulted on its debt in 2022. You may remember the images, the visuals. Long lines for fuel, a lack of essential goods, no money for imports, and a government in turmoil. Things are settling down in Sri Lanka now, but it is still trying to restructure its debt. Just last week, it struck a deal with private creditors. They agreed to take a 28% haircut. Sri Lanka was lucky here that the creditors agreed to take a loss. But this was not the case with its biggest bilateral creditor, which happens to be China. China too has worked out a deal with Sri Lanka, but it refused to take a haircut. It has eased the terms of repayment, but Colombo will have to pay every penny back over time. So it will take Sri Lanka years to free itself of Chinese debt. China is Sri Lanka's largest bilateral lender, but Beijing accounts for a bit under 45% of Colombo's total debt. That's not the case with Laos. Remember, 75% of Laos's debt is owed to China, and Beijing does not take haircuts. So Laos is staring at decades of paying China back or find an alternative, like selling off critical assets to China. Sri Lanka too had to do this. With its China-built Hambantota port that was leased to China for 99 years, with the option to extend that lease to 198 years. Basically until long after every Sri Lankan currently alive is gone. Laos may have to go down the same route. Reports say that it is already underway. China now controls some of Laos's electricity infrastructure in exchange for debt relief. Eventually, more Laotian assets may be up for sale. Perhaps even the debt-inducing railway line, which would be both ironic and the perfect example of China's debt-trap diplomacy.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We we go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital.